Hey everybody, today I got a review for American Mary, and it's a horror movie that was released technically last year, but it's finally starting to come out in video. It didn't get a wide release. And American Mary is the second film from Jen and Sylvia Soska, the Soska twins. Their first outing was Dead Hooker in a Trunk. I did a review last week for that one. I'll put the link. So American Mary, first of all, the film overall is way better than the Soska's first film, Dead Hooker in the Trunk. Just in general, the way it looks, the way it's acted, just everything about it. The story's way better, much more interesting story. So that's a plus. They probably have a bright future, I'm sure, in movie making. It's a pretty good movie. So the story revolves around a Mary, and she's towards the end of her medical career, like med student career, and she's down on her luck. She's studying to be a surgeon. She knows quite a bit of stuff, obviously, from what you see in the movie, but she's down on her luck. She winds up turning to like extreme measures to make money. She winds up kind of becoming an underground surgeon, so to speak, dealing mostly in body modification stuff. And through the course of the story, something happens to her, also makes matters worse, and she kind of goes on this revenge kick. Well, not kind of. She does go on a revenge kick. Uses her surgical skills to get revenge. That part was really good. There's a lot of good stuff about this movie. First of all, Catherine Isabel plays the lead role of Mary, and you might know her from Ginger Snaps. She was in all three of those. She's the redhead one. Um, I mean, her performance in this movie was awesome. I mean, this is her best performance to date, at least that I can remember. And I mean, the way she plays Mary, you got a bright, intelligent woman, and she's so beautiful too. I mean, so it's kind of like the two sides of horror. Usually it's the beautiful girl that's vulnerable and she's being chased around. This one's she's vulnerable, she's beautiful, but at the same time she's smart, intelligent, and she'll fuck you up if you mess with her. So I really liked her role. I mean, the acting on her part was great. She just really knocked it out of the park. Overall, the movie just looks good compared to their first film, Dead Hooker in the Trunk. And the horror elements of this movie are really well done. They kind of tease you with what's going to happen a lot. It seems like you're getting teased, and I really like that because they don't show you everything, which was nice. I was thinking for a second, I was like, when they got to the first couple scenes, I was like, they're gonna get into all this torture porn shit, and they really don't. They kind of talk about what they're gonna do, and you see maybe some photos of her work later down the road towards the end of the movie. But most of it at the beginning is left in your imagination, and it's just really creepy. I mean, the horror elements of this movie really work well. It's definitely a good horror tale. Not your average horror movie at all, which I really liked. I mean, you have your killing, but the character is so different, and just the angle that they took with the surgical stuff, and I really like that. I mean, just made for an interesting, well told tale. As far as the blood and guts go, you don't got a ton of that. It's mostly inferred, and they do show some stuff. It's enough to gross you out. I mean, I was kind of like wincing at the screen, which was a good sign. I consider that a good sign in a horror movie because it's making me uncomfortable. I really like that. And there's a couple other characters that litter the story. Sort of. There's this one girl. She's kind of like a Betty Boop, like but in human form. That's how they refer to her in the movie. And that's an interesting character. And there's a couple just little interesting characters in this body modification sort of storyline that they take. There was a couple problems I had with the movie, and they're kind of big deals. But first of all, I thought just some of the stuff, the way like stuff came out of kind of like left field and happened to Mary. 1 second she's doing the underground surgery, and then boom, something happens to her. She has to get revenge, and then the ending just seemed like it came out of left field. I don't know. Maybe it was just me the way I was viewing it, but to me, it just seemed a little. Their conveniences to tell the story, but they had no setup. Sort of. That's basically, there's 2 points in particular. The thing that sets her on the vengeance quest, and then the very end of the movie is kind of like just out of left field. I felt that was the main problem. The other problem I had was some of the acting is a little shoddy. Not Catherine Isabel; she does a great job. She like I said, knocks it out of the park. But some of the acting by the other characters is a little over the top, including the Sosa sisters. They play these crazy German twins or whatever that run some crazy body modification magazine, and they come to meet Mary because they've heard of her work. Um, and that their acting is just not good. But one thing I'll cut it slack with the bad acting because it's such a quirky story. I think the bad acting kind of fits a little bit because the characters are so strange. So kind of tries to go over the top. Maybe that's what they were going for. I don't know. But especially the Soska sisters, they're not very good actresses. They're obviously much better at directing and writing. because I really like this film. But besides those couple things, it's a pretty good movie. I think most horror fans are going to like it. I definitely liked it. You had your shout out to Cronenberg. I noticed in there with there's a scene where she's wearing red surgical scrubs, and I've worked in a hospital a long time, and I've seen people wearing red scrubs. I've never seen people wearing red surgical scrubs while doing surgery. It's just so creepy. Then they have a scene where they kind of, I think it's a shout out to probably Dead Ringers, but whatever. Check out American Mary, definitely. I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 5. Um, there's a couple issues, but Catherine Isabel and the story in general is just really good. I mean, interesting character. I can't wait to see what the Soska sisters do next. I'm pretty excited to see what they pull out of the bag next. So, all right, guys, see you soon. Definitely check out American Mary if you pick it up on Blu-ray, DVD, whatever it's coming out on. All right, guys, see you soon.